Hey folks, this is the P2S, one of the most popular 3D printers, and this is my P2S, which as you can see I modified quite a lot to make it not only more convenient to use, but it also improved my print quality and allows me to print filaments that I would not be able to use without these modifications, or only to a limited extent. Most of it are small printable upgrades that you can make yourself and that are free. In this video series I show you everything that I did that provides value to me, so that you can decide which ones make sense for you to make your 3D printing experience even better. Because I installed over 20 different of such upgrades, I have to split that into multiple videos, showing you with each episode some of my favorite modifications, how to build and install them, and if needed, how to modify it to your needs.
Nice.
And I will also show you some accessories that I bought, like print plates for different materials or different nozzles and a lot more, that also lets you print stuff better. Feel free to hit the subscribe button if you like that and don't want to miss the next episode of this series. This video is sponsored by PCBWay.com. If you're interested in such upgrades for your printer, you might be as well in upgrades to your 3D printed parts. I work on an electric motor kit for my girlfriend's bike. It will be awesome, but some parts would not be strong enough when 3D printed. I need some sturdy metal, so you can just upload your 3D files on PCBWay's homepage, select your material and get an instant quote. 1 week later I had the parts delivered. Also with the link in the description you even get $5 off your first order. And now back to the video. The first upgrade that I printed was this whole riser with all its accessories. And if you already saw my video about it, I have some cool new tricks and tips for you. Darren3D, who designed this, even gave me another code for a new part he made to share it with you guys. It gives you the possibility to print TPU in the best possible way by feeding it directly from above. Lets you store all the stuff you need on the printer, makes your chamber lighting better and is highly modular, so you can put 2 AMS on top if that's what you want, or like me having the AMS HT and my iBoss dryer there to print from them. So definitely one of the most valuable accessories you can print, but also the only model I show you in this series that is not free. It costs $10 but offers so much that I think it's definitely worth it, and therefore I made a whole video about it in which you can also find a code for some accessories that others have to pay for, but not you, if you are one of my viewers. Now some new tips and tricks and free stuff for you. Since the AMS is now a little further away, I would advise you to extend the PTFE tube to the filament buffer. But the standard 2mm tubes don't work with bamboo. This here is the right one. Available cheaply on AliExpress, I put you the link in the description. Here's another tip: the right side panel can vibrate in some occasions, which makes the printer louder. If you put the side shelf there, it presses against the panel and prevents it from vibrating. And if that's not enough, you can add a bit of double-sided tape. This here is the new cable management system that Darren designed. It can be mounted at the rear of the riser and allows you to cable manage everything you put on top of your riser, like the AMS, the AMS HT, dryers and other accessories that live there. With these mounting rails you can add a lot of different holders to it, so everything fits tight. There are clips for horizontal mounting too, and also these shelf parts that lets you have the power supply installed here. I don't have this, so this here is just a dummy from my laptop to pretend like I have one. Use the code DEB for D3P to get it for free. Oh, that rhymes. Last tip is about the gasket of the riser. One of my viewers suggested to get the middle front piece of it glued to the glass plate instead of gluing it to the riser. Genius move. This way your TPU spool holders still have a perfect fit, while the gasket also seals the top to minimize heat loss. So I put you the riser video at the end of this video and you can watch it as a follow-up if you like. The second upgrade for me was all the stuff I added into the AMS and the filament spools to fill them with as much desiccant as possible. Because I early on encountered issues with filament that was not dry, even some that I freshly unpacked, leading to some ugly prints that this one will prevent. This for me was a game changer because I since never had issues or failed prints caused by moisture creeping into my filament. I made a whole video about that as well, and you also find it at at the end of this video. It did improve my print quality and can do the same for you. Since I made the video, I have now found even cheaper color indicated silica gel on Amazon, and you know where to find the link to this. Moving on to some new stuff I added. This one is very simple and may save your cooling fan. It adds only minimal weight to your print head, and every 2 weeks of printing or so I remove these hair-like tiny filament strings that like to accumulate here and that this print prevents from being sucked into your fan. Printed in 5 minutes, it can simply be clicked in and you are done with this one. There are different patterns you can choose from. This one I use is the honeycomb one, and it served me well. Next up is an accessory I bought directly from Bambu Lab, and that lets me print stuff like ABS, ASA, different type of nylons. Basically, it lets you print every material on it. It is the engineering plate in combination with the liquid glue stick. Never forget to add glue to this plate. It is meant that way and would not work or maybe even damage this print plate if you forget to do so. It is one step more you have to do before printing, but saves you from damaging your print that would stick way too good to the standard PEI plate that comes with the printer. I chose the liquid glue because I find it easier to apply a more or less even layer to the plate, but it would also work with a regular glue stick if that is your glue of choice. It worked great every time I used it, and as I said, I use it mainly to print materials like polycarbonate, ASA or different nylons. This would be the best all-rounder plate if there would not be the Glacier plate from BIQU, with very similar performance and without the hassle and cost of using glue. Until now, these plates have always been colored blue. Mine is purple, because BIQU launched these new color series for the P2S. I wanted the green one, but that was sold out at the time I ordered it. You also can add glue to it, but it is not necessary with most prints. Some of the so-called engineering materials being so expensive that one failed print would have cost me more than buying these two things. Both are great all-rounders to print anything on them. If you like using glue anyway, the engineering plate is for you. If you only want to use glue occasionally, the CryoGrip plate is great. And this thing here also improves the capabilities of your printer if you use an AMS. It lets you print reliably with cardboard spools, and I designed it because I like to use some filament brands that only have such cardboard spools. This one lets you use them, not all of them, but the ones with the dimensions described on the download page. And I showed this one briefly in the video I did about the comparison of the Qidi Q2 and the P2S. No respooling needed, just add this and it solves multiple problems that can occur with cardboard spools in the AMS. And you gain yourself the possibility to use more filament brands, which you would otherwise have to avoid. This is kind of a beta version, keep this in mind. And of course I have to show you this neat thing that keeps my build plates organized and instantly ready to use thanks to a handy lever mechanism. And it even provides extra vibration dampening for your P2S. It's the FNT build plate holder for the P2S by Frantisek23, and he has a really good build guide on the download page. The only thing that's a bit tricky to figure out is which version of the feed you should choose. For my P2S I use the one with the self-printed TPU feed. If you rather use the anti-vibration feed from Bambu, there are also different versions that let you do that. And you can also customize these labels yourself. I just use the ones with the numbers on them. After all these useful modifications, now one that is more something that lets you have a bit more fun whilst using your AMS. Just make sure that you download the right version. There is one for the AMS and one for the AMS2. And I for sure first printed the wrong one. And didn't know exactly how to install it because it was too short and yeah. What it does is just adding a more fancy mechanism to open and close your AMS. And on the download page it also says that it indicates better when you have forgotten to close the AMS. I guess that is true, and for people that sometimes or often forget to close it, like this guy here, it could help. But for real, I just like it because it moves and has this little lock icon there that opens and closes, and still I forget to close it regularly. That is why my humidity meters are showing numbers that I'm not proud of. In the next video of this series I will show you more new stuff. Lower your set offset on the subscribe button if you don't want to miss that. And if I did not show your favorite printable or not printable thing yet, let me know what it is and I will try to include that thing that got the most likes in the comments in the next video of this series. So then, here is the video about the riser, here is the one about all the things you can do to your AMS spools and filament boxes, and the one featuring the cardboard spool adapter is linked in the description, where you also find all the other stuff mentioned in this video. I wish you all a good time printing, and we see us in the next one.